Valerie Carter, the mother of the twin girls who died in the horrific Mahdia school dormitory fire, gave an emotional account of how the tragic incident, which occurred some 2 years ago, has affected her family. Carter is suing the state for in excess of $10 million for her surviving child, whom she said suffered emotional and psychological trauma as a result of the incident that killed her daughters. All 3 of Carter's children were present at the school dormitory when it was set ablaze on May 22, 2023. Her twin daughters were among the 20 children who were burned to death in the heavily grilled building. The family's lawyer, U.C. Anderson, has since argued that the government is fully responsible for the deadly fire. Last July, Guyana's government said it would pay $5 million to the parents of each of the 20 people who died in the fire. The lawsuit followed a government-appointed commission responsible for investigating the fatal fire, which blamed authorities in part for operating the dormitory without proper emergency fire prevention systems in place. Ms. Carter was called to the witness stand on the second day of the trial before Justice Sandal Kissoon at the High Court in Georgetown. The woman, who is originally from Chenapu Village, Region 8, became emotional as she spoke of the incident and the events that followed. She told the court that her surviving daughter has been trying to cope as best as she can since the incident. She does just say, "Mommy are trying," Carter said in response to questions by Darshan Ramdani KC, who is representing the state's interest in the matter. The lawyer inquired about her daughter's academic performance prior to and after the incident.
All of those of you that was on Auntie Laura Live that night, we basically witnessed, because while they were outside and everybody was outside, that child was in there being murdered. So we all saw a live murder of a child. We all watch a live murder of a child. We watched it while we were out there. At some point in time, that child was being murdered in Double D Hotel. Because they didn't kill her when they took her right away. And I'm saying that because the grandmother discovered that she was missing like instantly from the time they couldn't find her. It's not like she was missing a couple of hours before the grandmother realized that it was 2, 3, 4 hours before the grandmother realized that she was. No, it was just a couple minutes when the grandmother realized that she was missing. And her being missing was just a couple of minutes when the grandmother realized 1:33 she was in the pool. At 1 something, the grandmother don't realize that your granddaughter missing. So for those of you that are trying to blame that grandmother, yeah, don't do it. Because she was very alert. And she was alert enough that within a couple of minutes of that young lady going missing, of that child going missing, she realized that her granddaughter was missing and she started looking for her. So it wasn't 1 hour, oh, some people saying, oh, she negligent. No, it wasn't 1 hour, it wasn't 2 hours, it wasn't 3 hours. This woman realized that your grandchild missing. It's right away she realized your grandchild missing and she started looking for her. Which means that we were outside while all of us were searching and cussing and going on the internet, while Auntie Laura was live and all of that. At some point in time, that child was being murdered. So we all witnessed a live murder. I mean, we didn't see it with our naked eyes, but we all was online. We all was looking for Adrianna. We all were praying for Adrianna while she was being murdered. We saw it. We witnessed it. We live it. So I want that to sink in. That we witnessed a child being murdered live, and this government went out of their way to protect that hotel, to protect the proprietor, to protect the owners of that hotel, to protect Double D owner. They have done everything in their power to protect. Now, and I'm going to give you, not in this life, because I'm about to go now, but in another life, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you Double D Hotel, the amount of license that Double D Hotel have, who is fronting those licenses, because Double D Hotel don't do nothing in the oil and gas sector, have nothing to do with the oil and gas sector, but they were fronting businesses for government officials. They were funding oil and gas businesses for government ministers. And I'm going to get into that in another life. That is why they had all those licenses to waste disposable and all those things, that weren't their business. They were fronting businesses for government officials. I will get y'all into that in another life. I will go into that in a separate life. And that is why I think that they are being so protected by this government.
You will remember that Mr. Fujine was shot while protesters were on the road at Half Mile. He was not part of the protest. He was on his way home and he was shot through his eyes. There is video footage, and I actually accompanied an eyewitness by the name of Mr. Sulka to the Wisma police station on the night of one of the protests, and he gave a detailed statement to the police, not only recounting what took place, but identifying the officer who shot Mr. Fujine. We repeat our demand that the person responsible for murdering Mr. Fujine be charged forthwith. The fact that they've charged one police officer with the first killing is not enough. And so we repeat that request for the charge because we know the evidence exists and the evidence has been given to the Guyana Police Force. I was present when the statement was taken by the Office of Professional Responsibility. The difficulty with not charging him is it continues to result in the erosion of the public confidence in the Guyana Police Force. The second topic I'd like to speak about very briefly is the question of assistance coming from the Federal Bureau of Investigation into the death of young Adrianna Young. The United States government, friend of Guyana, virtual guarantor of the integrity of our western border, and country of the largest investor in this country, has made it clear through the personage of the ambassador that the services of the Federal Bureau of Investigation are available to assist in the investigation into the death of young Adrianna. This country, the diaspora, the Caribbean, and the world have been traumatized not only by her death, not only by the manner of her death, but what appears to be a concerted effort on the part of the Guyana Police Force and the government of Guyana not to investigate this death thoroughly. We are now becoming an international shame and disgrace as a country as a result of our failure to do the most basic of investigations, where there is more than adequate reason why the Guyana Police Force ought not to investigate. And now, to put the icing on the cake, we have a friendly government saying we are willing to assist. That government possesses perhaps amongst the most capable forensic capacities in the world at the moment, and it is willing to allow itself to assist into solving this. And all it requires, and I just wish to remind the members of the public, all it requires is a simple request from the government of Guyana. Nothing complicated, a simple request to the United States for assistance.
The Guyana Defense Force, GDF, has intensified its border patrols, especially along the Cuyuni River, Region 7, following 3 armed attacks on its troops by men in civilian clothing at the Guyana-Venezuela border. The incidents occurred over 48 hours, prompting calls from the Guyanese government for Venezuela to launch a full investigation. At a media briefing on Thursday afternoon at Base Camp Iangana, Georgetown, Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier Omar Khan, MSS, confirmed that the attacks occurred between Tuesday, May 13th, and Wednesday, May 14th, while GDF troops were conducting routine riverine patrols between Iterengbang and Macapa. Brigadier Khan noted that, unlike the February 17, 2025 incidents where 6 Guyanese soldiers were ambushed and injured during patrol duties in the Cuyuni River, Region 7, no member of the GDF was injured during this week's attacks. Border Patrol departed our location at Iterengbang and was traveling to Macapa, using 2 of our marine assets. While en route, armed men opened fire on the patrol using automatic weapons, the Chief of Defense Staff said. According to Khan, GDF troops returned fire and safely exited the area. The patrol, as a first priority, was to protect lives and assets and evade the firing. The patrol returned fire and was able to exit safely along the river. No one was injured, no rank of the defense force was injured in that particular incident, he noted. He added that similar attacks occurred on Wednesday. At about 14:35 hours, another Guyana Defense Force patrol, this time departing Macapa and heading to Blackwater, was again fired upon by armed men using automatic weapons. The patrol also returned fire. Subsequently, no one was injured from our side, Khan said. Just 3 hours later, a returning patrol came under fire again while passing the same area. In the last 48 hours, we would have had 3 such incidents. This is unprecedented, Brigadier Khan said. Notably, he said, since the first incident, the GDF had enhanced its operational posture and adopted drills that would mitigate the situation. These drills, he noted, were executed successfully. Despite the attacks, Khan assured that patrols would not be suspended. He outlined the military's duty under the Defense Act and the principles of upholding national sovereignty, stating, "We have an obligation as soldiers. This is a mission we take seriously, and will continue to patrol, and to eliminate any threat to our people."
Happily, that people didn't even want a fair system. A lot of people didn't want a system without corruption. I can tell you that in 2015 to 2020. Because they're so used to the corruption. They're so embedded in it. And I also mentioned that in sports, we've had some great talents and they just fall through the wayside because of lack of opportunities. In school, you start nursery school, somebody knows somebody, you get into QC and all of that. Lack of opportunities. Education, who got money and who ain't got money. For me, as a minor, I had it rough. Because the opportunity that some people receive is not like they're the most smart or they had this money. They were allowed to use the system to make money. And people like me and a lot, they try to stymie you, they put a ceiling over you, they come and pressure you, take away people's land innocent, take people's land what they got for years, with a family, with a sacrifice, wickedness. Let me tell you, see when you got claims, it was purposeful then and even up to now. So that the claims, even if it's verified, they don't give you a license, because when they get a license, it's your own. So they used to stymie it. And the run-ins and who got money used to collect it. And who get political friends in high places and so forth. So it was never, and even up to now, about truth. But we see people, what are you going to say?
They don't even write you letters.
They don't
even
even
when you write to GMC a letter requesting whatever you want, they don't even write you back.
They don't respond because it's corruption. They want you got evidence. So they collect the letter. They didn't even acknowledge. That's a brilliant point. Because they don't want, what are they going to write you back and tell you? So you got 1 million letters that you would send to them and you get no response.
And you're going to the office, the officer is on leave, the officer gone in the fields, and you're going and you just step back and forth with no proper response.
Yeah, and that happens for the smaller people. But you see now, the larger people, larger miners, they just make 2 phone calls, they meet ministers and whoever. There's SCB News this morning. So corruption is the order of the day. They love it. But what happened, if you see now, is this development we're coming out. We look and we saw what happened with the police force, and we're still witnessing it. The level of corruption and cover-up and lies, they go to the extent to lie. Stand as SCB News sit down this morning. So the police go to the extent to lie, to cover up an incident. And now we were following this matter with GRA and the Mohammeds. And they're back and fro, and then they go to the court, and they couldn't get a vehicle, and then they go to the appeal court, and the appeal court tell, listen, y'all can't, and then fresh information now surface. But when these things happen, I don't want us to get involved, the smaller man and so on, the man, let's pay attention, let the truth come forth, because Mohammed's capable of representing himself. Y'all don't jump on Facebook and get involved, just pay attention. Let the tournament begin. Because if you telling me that I buy a vehicle and I give you, submit a document for you, stand and tell you, listen, this morning, SCB News, y'all come outside you. And I'm saying that this vehicle value 70-something thousand US. Huh? How this vehicle can value 70-something thousand US? All right. And from then to now, you got no qualms or nothing. That's okay. Because you know why? Everybody there on one side going down one road. People complain who quarry get take away, who this, who sand. Listen, people think getting take away left, right, and center, land, all kind of thing. Broke down people land, forgive friends, and that's how the people come in and they start to operate.
Amid the ongoing court battle over his luxury vehicles and the government accusing him of evading taxes, businessman Azruddin Mohammed, on Thursday, threatened to release factual evidence to show who facilitated and ordered the clearance of his Lamborghini. I've been informed that the P.P.P government plans to institute several trumped-up charges against me to disrupt my visit to Region 9. At least it's not 19 fraud charges, Mohammed wrote on his Team Mohammed's Facebook page Thursday afternoon. The businessman added, "As soon as these charges are laid, I will release factual evidence showing the public exactly who facilitated and ordered the clearance of the Lamborghini, since they have such an obsession with it. Varrot, stay tuned. When the facts come out, you will be left looking phenomenally stupid. And when the truth surfaces, it won't be me the country will be looking at." Back in April, the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, had written to the Mohammeds claiming that it has irrefutable evidence of tax breaches and the family's evasion of payments of nearly $900 million worth in duties on luxury vehicles, a 2020 Ferrari, a 2023 Land Rover Range Rover, a 2023 Rolls-Royce, a 2020 Lamborghini Roadster, and two 2021 Toyota Land Cruisers, some nearly 5 years after they arrived in Guyana. The GRA is claiming that for the 2020 Ferrari PAD 5000, in the name of Hannah Mohammed, there are additional taxes of $479,743, $489 for breach of the re-migrant requirements. For 2023 Land Rover Range Rover PAC 9000, in the name of Leslie Khan, there are additional taxes of $61,485,982 for breach of the re-migrant requirements. The 2023 Rolls-Royce PAE 5000, in the name of Bibi Mohammed, additional taxes of $320,064,246 are owed for breach of the re-migrant requirements. For the 2020 Lamborghini Roadster PZZ 4000, titled to Azruddin Mohammed, additional taxes of $371,775,168 for false declaration of value. For a 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser 4000 Panamanian Balboas, titled to Azruddin Mohammed, additional taxes of $24,641,272 are owed for false declaration of value, and for a 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser 3000 Panamanian Balboas, titled to Azruddin Mohammed, additional taxes of $24,641,272 are owed for false declaration of value.